From Del Rio, Texas, Rob Wade and Robert Garza. Two guys who dive. This episode of Two Guys Who Dive, recorded Saturday, 17 November 2012, episode 42. I'd buy that for $1. And here we are once again with another episode of Two Guys Who Dive. I'm your host, Rob Wade, and I'm here with
Robert Garza.
name the movie that title's from.
I'd buy that for $1. RoboCop.
Very good, very good. Which, of course, they're remaking.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. I suspect it's going to be not that the original was all that happy.
No,
it wasn't as, I guess, light-hearted comparatively as like the first Judge Dredd movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Right.
It was pretty brutal, actually. But I am willing to bet that given the current trend with all the other remakes, it's going to be significantly darker.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be blood and gore all over the place.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, they'll, of course, updated CGI and special effects, and they'll do some pretty cool stuff with it, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So how was your week?
It was good. It was it was short but long at the same time.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
How does that happen?
Well, I had a long weekend, and then we were off.
You'll have to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, and then we were off on Monday.
Right.
Which I used to kind of recoup from the weekend.
Right.
But this week, since we were breaking already for the Thanksgiving break.
Already?
Yeah, so we're off on this week. I know, we just got back. It just seemed like endless. It just seemed to drag. I guess because subconsciously I knew that it was going to be a short week, and it just seemed to be like the kids were just very
anxious and anxiety-ridden. Unruly.
I would say anxious.
Out of control.
Yeah, anxious. Would probably be the word to describe it. It was just, and then I've been battling my sinus issues for like forever.
Yeah, because this weather's changing.
I tell you, it's just been eating me away.
So you, of course, anybody who saw this podcast last week knows that you were away on a retreat.
Yeah, I went away on a religious retreat.
Pretty cool, I understand.
It was very neat. It was a very eye-opening experience. It's like anything, we discussed this.
Right.
You pretty much gotta just open yourself up and just take it all in. Not everybody's, experiences are all different.
That's
so
true.
You bring back what you want to bring back. But the object here is to actually just open up and just let go and let everything happen for you.
Yeah.
And it was a very eye-opening experience. Learned a lot. I wish I could share a lot more, but these things are kind of
they're
confidential. They're confidential.
They're
but ultimately, it was probably one of the best things that I could have done.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's put me on the path to finish things that I should have done as a child, but it's all good. It's all good.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you had an awesome time. I knew you would.
I loved it. I did.
I knew you were going to have a great time with that. And I understand you've got a couples version coming up too.
Yeah, there's a couples retreat that's coming up. I've not signed up for that yet, but I believe it's in the summertime. It's sometime around June.
Okay.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. Hopefully, the Lord will see, because the way that these things are done, it's kind of like a lottery type thing.
Oh, really?
You'll put your name, you'll sign up, put your name in, and they randomly choose people based on, just to see if he really, if the man upstairs wants you to attend this particular retreat and for a particular reason, or not certain people get chosen. So it's pretty much all the way they look at it is it's in God's hands. If it's your time to go. Some people apparently they registered for these type of events,
right.
or these retreats. I'm sorry, and they don't get called the first time. So it's just they look at it as God's will that it's not your time to go yet.
Yeah.
So, but this one is in the summer, and we do plan on registering for it, and we'll just kind of leave it in God's hands to see if it's our time to go. If not, because they do have number seats, available.
Right.
So, I guess
So it's not a first come first serve.
No.
It is you hope you get chosen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's how they did it in the past. It was first come first serve. It was who and not know and type thing.
Right.
So this way they just kind of eliminated all that, and they just it's pretty much a random thing, which I think it works out best that way.
Well, our church started doing these this last year as far as the couples retreat, and I think I'd shared a little bit about that with you. And we don't have it's. Last one we went on was not significantly limited. The location is only so big,
right?
So there is limited seating to an extent, but
well, I think that's the same situation with this.
Yeah.
Believe me, if they could, they would take everybody.
Yeah.
But because the locations only allow for so many people because of living quarters and stuff,
right?
They're only allowed so many people. So
now, where is it held?
It's held in different locations.
Oh, okay.
They move them around. The only thing I can say
Moving
is that
target.
Yeah, that it is out of town. That's I can say that much, that it is out of town, and for good reasons, obviously.
Yeah.
They want to kind of do that for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to let you know when our church gears up to do the next one if they've got some space available and you guys are interested.
Definitely.
I think you would have a great time. Some of the people that'd be going anyway, and and we just had a blast.
I would tell this. I would pretty much say this to anybody: if you've not attended something like this, it truly is touching, and it will definitely open your eyes to everything.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I can't, Rob knows, I can't disclose too much, and for various reasons, because it's an experience that you have to, experience.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's something you got to go through it.
Exactly. But they are wonderful. So if you're out there, if you're listening, if you've not attended one, I strongly urge you to go to your nearest to whatever church you are a member of, and see if they got something like this set up.
Right.
Well
worth it.
Definitely. We'll help you out a million times.
A million times. I'll cue you a million times. So that's awesome. I am so happy for you. I knew you were going to have a great time.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just finished Veterans Day and had a good
good coffee.
Here we go. He is actually spending some time up in Crane, Texas.
Oh, okay.
With his mother. His dad ends up on a lot of these crazy shifts, so he's like spending a whole month, I think it is, working like 12 hours straight, and then a few hours off, and then go back in again. I mean, it's just like crazy for a whole month. So where he's at, he can't get back to the house. It's not worth it because you just want to crash at that point.
Right.
So Troy is basically spending off and on. He's going up there and spending several days at a time to help his mom out around the house and taking care of the place and everything.
Well, that's good, Troy. That's a good thing.
But I did see him post on his trip up, stopping by Pico, and he was like, "Oh, how I missed you."
I did see that.
That's what that was all about.
Well, Troy, when you catch this on rerun,
that's right. He could be watching it on his phone. That's okay. Or his computer. He typically brings his laptop everywhere too. So, So we did have Veterans Day, and I participated in the city's ceremony that they do every year. It's always an honor to be asked. Jesse Cardenas, who is the head of the San Felipe Del Rio Honor Guard.
The Honor Guard. That's right. That's right.
I tell you, that guy just keeps on moving and keeps on moving.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even venture a guess how old he is, but I love the man to death. He's got such a sweet heart, a tender heart. Yeah. He is a veteran. He is an absolute patriot from the word go. And his wife passed away a few years ago. And I tell you, for someone who was married as long as he was, I know it's got to be tough to have your life mate separate from you. No, even though he knows where she's at and he's going to see her, he's going to see her again. But for some people, you see this out in the real world. When one spouse dies, it's like a year later or 2 years later.
Yeah, they pass.
The other one passed because it's as if they lose their will to live. But I tell you, he just grabs hold of life and just keeps on going. He absolutely, I know he's just chatting with her every night and chatting with the Lord and everything. And it's just so neat to see someone just, you know what? I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, no.
And I've got things to do. As long as the Lord's got me here, I got things to do.
That is so true. I actually know his son very well, Jesse Jr.
I don't think I've ever met his son.
I worked with him years ago. I actually met him for the first time back in 1993.
Wow, just before Tara and I moved back to Del Rio.
I started working with him at the sheriff's office in 1993, and he was there. He was actually one of the ones who trained me,
wow.
to...
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon right here.
There you go. And he drives a Mustang that's been a Mustang, his baby. It's a red convertible Mustang, 1965 Mustang.
Oh, so sweet.
Or is it a 66 or 67? I can't remember, but he's a good friend of mine. Had that Mustang forever. It used to be baby blue.
Now it's
and then now it's red, and he put an engine on it. It's a racing engine. He's a real good mechanic, Mustang freak, big time. But
should have taken my car to him.
Trust me, he could have fixed it for you because that's all he works on is Mustangs. And he put a wicked engine in that thing to where he's got to get gas at the airport.
What?
Yeah, it's got to run on 100 octane. Or it'll mess up the engine.
Gosh.
He probably gets like 2 miles a gallon, if maybe less.
Yikes.
But no, he's a really good guy. Still works for the sheriff's office. He's there.
Wow, that's amazing. I started to mention I should have talked to him about getting my car worked on. Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. I went out to the base. No, it was Wednesday this happened. Wednesday, I went out to the base because I was off all week. Mm-hmm. Had a lot of leave to burn off. I went out to the base to take care of time cards and stuff for the employees, and no issues. Got out to the base, did my thing, came back home, and then Wednesday night we have youth service, so I had to. So long about 4-ish, I'm headed over to 4:30. I'm headed to the church, or so I thought.
So you thought?
I start the car. And I start to back out of the driveway, and it dies. And so I'm trying to start it. Meanwhile, I'm coasting backwards, and I'm like, okay, it's not starting. So fortunately, we live on a hill, or a slight hill, so I cranked the steering wheel really quick so I could let it coast and right up against the curb, so it wasn't out in the middle of the road. So I'm sitting there just riding the starter, trying to get the thing to start, and it would finally, after several tries, just it would start, and then as soon as I pressed on the gas, it would die again. So I'd wait. Thought, well, maybe it's the injectors or something. It's flooding out or something. So I started up again, and so I just let it idle. and it idles fine. Till I press on the gas.
Oh, it
Boom,
does.
dies again. I was like, oh no, I've seen this before. This has got to be the fuel pump.
The fuel pump.
And we just replaced the fuel pump in Tara's rodeo.
Oh, okay.
You know, just a few weeks ago. So I'm like, oh no. So Tara gets home and brings, gets me to the church and everything. And so we end up taking it into Rudy's service center.
Mm-hmm.
He does great work, reasonably priced. But he's always busy. So very rarely can you just bring something in.
So he can work on it?
Yeah. So called out there the next morning, first thing, and say, hey, here's the situation. Can we get this towed in? So fortunately, he happened to be in a little bit of a lull. I mean, he had work, but it wasn't like stacked up outside for, you know, his whole parking lot. So he pulled his wrecker over, towed my baby in, and sure enough, turned out it was the fuel pump. And also, I had a small leak in the neck for the filler into the gas tank, so it was creating a warning light to go off. So he was able to fix that. So he got it all put back together. Now it's running like a champ. But,
awesome,
man. I was like, of all times, you know, when you're really busy and
trust me, I know the feeling. It seems like one thing right after another, or you know, just when you want to be like get here in a hurry or do something in a hurry.
Who did that song? One thing leads to another.
Oh, The Fix.
Was it The Fix? All right, awesome.
You know, like coming down here, I stopped to get some coffee, and ironic you bring this up.
Yeah,
I was coming down here, and I was coming down 15th Street,
right,
and there was this little truck in front of me, and I swear he was just trying to get me upset. He comes up to the light right here on 15th and Main.
Yep.
And the light is green, and he stops. He literally like stops, and I think he's gonna turn right. And I don't know what he was thinking, but then the light turned yellow. Like he stopped, and he was gonna go forward, and then it turned yellow, and then he stops again. And I'm like,
seriously,
seriously. And then sure enough, okay, so the light turned green. We proceed forward. And I'm turning right here, just, you know, right here.
Yeah.
And he turns too.
Oh.
So
you're going to be creeping along.
I'm creeping
Mr.
along. So I was
Slowpoke,
just
right,
like, oh my gosh. God, he was just, you know, he was tempting me.
Well, you didn't pray for patience or anything, did you, this week? Because you know, I've noticed if you pray for patience, the response is usually you will find yourself in so many situations that will try your patience. Like, okay, well, let's see where you can go with it.
No, good thing I didn't, because I probably would have lost it.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. No kidding.
No, but I was calm, but I was like, really? That's the first thing that came out of my mind was like,
no kidding.
Seriously? Oh, my gosh.
Well, so anyway, had a good ceremony at the Civic Center for the Veterans Day ceremony. It was awesome. You know, interestingly, you know, usually it falls... You know, it doesn't fall on Sunday.
Yeah.
But this time it did. And of course, our church does a little bit, you know, extra stuff for Veterans Day, Memorial Day. And, you know, we have our praise and worship service at 10. Well, the ceremony at the city, it was at 11 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So I knew I was going to have to, like, as soon as we finished praise and worship, I was going to, like, make a beeline over to the Civic Center. Well, and then, of course, I get a text from our pastor saying, hey, do you have something patriotic you could add as far as the ceremony that we'd like to do? I'm like, here's the problem. So, you know, he ended up going with a plan B. And so I skedaddled over there, and I'm just showing up just as retired General, Air Force General Prather was showing up because he was MC. He usually is the MC. And, of course, he was officiating in his church. So we were both like showing up, and we're sweating bullets because we're just coming in time to do it. And as you know, City of Del Rio just schedules things so poorly. They had the annual Feast of Sharing, which is a great. It's a great service that they do for the city. HEB, the big local grocer here. Well, they're all over the state, but they do a lot of benefits and donate a lot of food, etc., for a number of programs and initiatives here in Del Rio.
Yeah.
and they always sponsor the Feast of Sharing. And so there's tons of food out there, and they truck it out to people. They have the Civic Center set up with tables on both sides, and people just come in and they can get a nice turkey dinner. You know, those who just, you know,
I remember. Yeah, I remember it started. It started with those that, you know, financially they just couldn't afford something very nice or big. But now it's just become this.
It's gotten much bigger.
Big thing to where like everybody, you know, I see Mercedes, Hummers, I see everything parked out there. You know,
I have to admit, I kind of have a problem with that. I think it should remain for those who really.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not saying they do have plenty to spare, but originally, I mean, you know, you know, if you can afford one, why don't you go down and donate some time and go serve these people?
Yeah,
you know,
our wing commander did that. He and his wife, of course, he was providing a little bit of. He wasn't the keynote speaker, Colonel Murphy. But he was speaking a little bit, as well as some of the other officials, and then he and his wife Carla, who they do a lot, they love this town, and so they were going to quickly change and go in and help serve. So it was great seeing the turnout.
I know in the past, you know, some of the students from the high school will go out there because some of the programs
I often see them out there.
Some of the programs that are offered at the high school, the technical classes that are out there, they'll give the students like extra credit. We're gonna go serve at the Feast of Sharing, and that's one of the big things that they do.
Right.
So I applaud them for that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great turnout, but of course that meant the parking lot
was full.
And everywhere you go, and so you don't. Showing up as late to the ceremony as General Prather and I were like, where do we park? And parking on one of the streets.
and make a dash for the
making a dash in a suit, making a dash over there. So, but it was still, we got there in time.
Well, that's great. Yeah, it was a good thing. I read about it, and I think you posted a picture.
I didn't.
Somebody posted a picture.
It was Mr. Rowe who was running against the incumbent.
That's right. It was David. It was David
for the position of sheriff.
Yeah.
Darn, I wish he'd won, but he was a good sport about it, and he and his wife, and they're continuing to, still support the community. They didn't get the sour grapes and
I mean. He's a retired federal agent, doing well, got his gun business on the side, and I've actually bought some guns from the guy back in the day.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Really?
So does he have a shop in town?
He actually used to have because of the FFL license, the Federal Firearms License criteria, is if you're going to be able to sell, you have to have like a storefront or a place to sell them, and all kinds of red tape you got to go through with these people. At the time, he had a small little
hole in the wall.
A small little shop,
kind of like Humphrey's.
Yeah.
Gun shop.
Well, actually, it was just something. It was just like an office space that he was using that he listed as.
To have an official commercial residence.
Exactly, And I remember I was out there on Highway 90 going by the sheriff's office by where Geo is now. There was some little space in there, and I was like, "Where's this place?" It was kind of hard to find it.
You see that folding chair?
Yeah, that's it. The folding chair behind that glass case, that empty glass case. That's it. No, but he's great sport. He takes care of the local law enforcement, like individual officers like myself.
Yeah.
If you're watching, David, I'm in the market for an H&K USP 40, so
we better stock up on the weapons while we can, because if the president gets his way with the UN, we may not see that much freedom coming up. So don't you know, I'm watching that like a hawk.
Oh yeah.
Tara and I do have a small weapon for protection.
But when you said we have a small, I thought you were going to say a small arsenal.
No.
Okay, well, I do have an arsenal.
Don't think I haven't started thinking about that.
I do have an arsenal. I got one for. There's a trigger for every toe on my body.
There you go. It's important to stand for your Second Amendment rights. Okay. Otherwise, you'll lose your First Amendment rights.
That is correct.
All right. So again, thanks to all the veterans. I am one. But thanks to all those who are still putting themselves in the way of those who would try to take away our freedoms from us. And it's important that we acknowledge and celebrate the fine efforts by those folks and their families, because it's a great sacrifice to have your husband or wife or son or daughter out in places where they're blowing things up and killing people.
That's right. You know, we take our freedom for granted, a lot of people.
Way too much.
And, you know, people are dying every day just to give you that right. Yep. Please don't trample on it.
Nope.
You know, embrace it.
Or you'll have us to answer to.
You'll have somebody, and you might not like who that person's going to be.
That's right.
So right now you have a chance, and let's take care of it.
Yeah, no more spitting on the veterans as they're coming home.
Please stop that. Yeah. Stop that. You're not them, and you're not there, so you can't judge these people.
That's right. That's right. So we're coming into the holidays now. Here you were just talking about how the schools already start getting ready to let out for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, we already started our vacation, so we'll be off all this week coming up. Then we go back for 2 weeks, and then we're off another 2 for the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, Christmas just here already. I can't believe it.
So I was noticing in the latest Sport Diver magazine, they were talking about their 2012 guide, holiday giving guide. So we'll be talking
looking at those fins. They look pretty nice.
I know. We'll be talking a little bit about that. But also, you know, there are... we talk a lot about computers, tech stuff, and certainly smartphones. And I actually downloaded a game on my Windows phone that it was just kind of like the surface interval. What do you do on your surface interval? Nowadays, it's not just about checking your gear. You know, you can do some relaxing if you've got a smartphone. And so there are a few games across the iPhone and Android and Windows Phone platforms that you could download, install, just to give yourself something to do that's totally mindless. Yeah, while you're on your surface interval. And so I've got a few listed here. They're definitely not super expensive games or anything fancy, but on the iPhone you have a game called Scuba Scout. Where basically you dodge and blast away at mines and rack up points. It's a real simple game. I think it's like $1.99.
Beauty Diver, what's that? Oh, Booty, I'm sorry.
Yes. Be honest with you, when I saw Booty Diver, I was like, oh, gosh, no. You know, where it could have gone.
I'm taking 3 steps forward, Robert. You're sending me 2 steps
That's
back.
Right. Who got a Beauty Diver? That's what it is. No, this one is a scuba diver that's looking for sunken treasure. You manage your air, obviously, so there's a time element there. And you avoid sharks, and this is also available on the Android. And then also an iPhone and Android game, Scuba Diver, simple search for treasure, avoid dangers kind of thing. I think most of them are along those genre. And then one specific to the iPhone, iPad, etc., is Sea Cleaner. And I'm like, okay, this is for the environmentalist wackos out there. Clean up trash in the Pacific. Oh, joy. Yeah, sign me up.
That's going to take forever.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Oh, so many shipwrecks, etc., and people throwing stuff off of cruise ships. I just know there's tons of stuff in the Caribbean.
Oh, tell me about it.
Not to mention, you know, people on the boat who somehow disappeared between
There's people
ports.
down there, trust me. You know, it's ironic. Not ironic, I'm sorry. I'm using bad choice of words today. You know, speaking of that, I actually was Googling through my news app, and did you see that deal about where BP's being fined or something?
No, I didn't see that. What's that?
Apparently they're being fined $5 billion because of something that they knew or they neglected, some kind of safety issue, which is why that thing blew up.
Oh, so in other words, the investigation finally revealed
there's some
more things about what was going on and who turned a blind eye, I'm guessing.
Not only that, there's people missing, apparently, from the explosion. and they had I don't know. So
they took the last boat back home.
No, they said, "Oh, everybody's accounted for it." No, wrong. Apparently, people were missing, and the families are like, "Where's my loved one?"
Yeah,
and well, probably they're blown up or in the water, dead. But yeah, I mean, it was a lengthy thing. I didn't really get to finish reading. I wish I had. I would have commented a little bit more, but yeah, the BP is being sued for $5 billion.
Well, they definitely.
I know they have it.
Blew it. Yeah, yeah, they definitely
blew have it. But that's crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry to. Change
that's okay. That's okay. And then for the Windows Phone, a couple. The one that I downloaded was Battle Sub. It's actually kind of cute. Pull it up here.
On his new Lumia 920.
Yes, I might as well talk about that. I do have in my hot little hands here. Let me switch cameras here. I have the new Lumia 920. As you can see, you might be thinking, well, that looks like the 900. And sure enough, it's just a little bit bigger. But I did go with the cyan. I am partial to the cyan color now. And it has some of the of course, it has the Windows Phone 8 system on it. It's pretty cool. One of the features I thought was kind of neat on here, not that I'd ever use it really necessarily, is this thing called Kids Corner.
Oh, okay.
When you have the thing off, when you turn it on, you can set it up. You can turn it off, but to not have this feature active. But when you turn it on, you see your regular lock screen. And of course, you can go up with it, or you can go sideways with it. And you get the Kids Corner.
Oh, wow.
And so from there, you can unlock it, and you can have... I'll go ahead and do that. And now you can set up a specific start menu just for kids.
Oh, okay.
So that if you don't want them to get into stuff like the phone or whatever, you can block them from everything but whatever you put on here.
Wow.
So it's a nice little feature. If you have kids... Or if you're around people with kids a lot where they I can't play with your phone. You can put some safe games and music or whatever on them. And you can then have just a start page just for them. And then all you have to do to go back is just turn it off, turn it back on, and then you're back to your normal start screen. I thought that was pretty ingenious.
That's one of the things that my son Brandon
always wanting to borrow your phone.
Dad, can I see your phone? Yeah. Like, I don't have games on my phone. There, he was like, I know you do.
So how do they know?
Like,
do they sneak in and
how can I get myself out of this one? No. They're like, Dad, can I see your iPad? No. I definitely don't have games on that. But they're like, Dad, can I see your phone? No. I want to hear a song. They know I have music on my phone.
Of course.
I can't get away from that one, but the games are like...
Nice.
Well, that's a pretty nice phone, Purple would have been better.
Oh, I tell you, they only have it in the 820.
In purple?
In purple.
We had...
So here's just a little shot of the game. And so you just basically, you can move all over the place. Of course, I'm not using the actual... They have a soft...
Is that preloaded music?
Yeah. So you can fire weapons, and you stay down as long as you have air. It's got a air meter and all on that. It's a real simple game, kind of cute graphics, real simple premise, and that's kind of neat thing is to have something that you can play as a surface interval activity. Kind of cool. Oh, why am I getting this weird orange color here? Let's see if I can straighten up my... That's interesting. Somehow the white balance went automatic. I hate it when that happens. So anyway, so that's Battle Sub. It's a cute little game. And then there's another one called Dive with an exclamation point. It's another simple game. You collect coins and avoid depth charges. Of course, when I read that premise, I was like, wait a minute. Avoid depth charges. Why would you be scuba diving where they're dropping depth charges? Unless you're like a SEAL, a Navy SEAL or something.
I wouldn't even do that unless I was, for
well, you might be trying to,
for a specific reason.
Plant a mine, magnetic mine on a sub or something. I suppose you.
That's one thing I've always wondered. I remember
Developers, think about this before you do.
I remember seeing the movie Finding Nemo, and there's a scene on there where the father's looking for Nemo, and he's going with Dory, and they come across this weird where there's sunken.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, there's a sunken submarine, and it's cool because you just see the mines that are anchored to the bottom of the ocean floor.
Right.
They're the old school mines with the little pins sticking out all over the place. And it looks cool because it's kind of like at a distance. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But I wonder if there's like places out in the ocean that still have those mines. I know that back in the day during World War II, those things were very popular everywhere.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they ever cleaned them all up,
Yeah, there are lots of those sub traps and sub nets and stuff like that. Yeah,
I mean,
you got to think that there's probably one or two that haven't been recovered,
deactivated.
Yeah, so just some games that you can look up in your whatever your store is.
That's where I tracked you again.
It's okay. That's okay. We can do that. So for the scuba diver or the scuba dive interest, there are some cute little games out there just that are water focused for those who are looking for a surface interval activity.
Or if you're an Angry Birds fan, you can just download the Star Wars.
I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I've got it on my phone.
How is it?
It's actually pretty good, but oh man, it is so much more difficult compared to. Yeah. There's the part that, and I've just started playing it. Early on, there's an area where you're trying to launch against the evil empire, the pigs, but it's planets like that are impossibly close to each other, and they have. It took me a few minutes to figure out that these translucent spheres around the planets are the gravity well.
Oh, okay.
So you have, when you're shooting, you're not just working an arc. You're working an arc and then trying to figure out, how's the gravity going to influence the pull? So you may start at an arc that goes this way, and then it comes by a planet and is influenced by its gravity well, and it's going to go
it's going to go upward.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, wow.
So it really starts stretching your understanding of motion and physics.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So, I've not downloaded it. I saw it, and I'm kind of like, I'll wait a little bit. But somebody did tell me that the game was kind of hard, so it's not easy.
It's definitely more challenging than the regular Angry Birds. And interestingly, Rovio, the one-trick pony company, they actually released it across all the platforms at once.
Yeah.
Even for Windows 8. So it's an app on Windows 8. But I wanted it on the phone rather than on the desktop, so I got it for the phone. So, that'd be another surface interval activity.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So, for those who might be looking at buying your favorite scuba diver some gifts coming up for birthdays, of course, obviously, or just because if you're feeling generous and magnanimous. But certainly for the holidays, there's a number of places that we could suggest. If they're a patty diver, which we are, you can go to Patty Gear. Patty Gear. Oh, Patty Deer. We're going to Patty Deer. You can go to pattygear.com. I've got the website up there. And there's a lot of various clothing items, etc., that you can get. That you can get, of course, the Patty logo on, and get embroidered with their name. If they're whatever level of diver, you can also get that designation put on. So if you're an advanced diver or a rescue diver, dive master or instructor, you can get that put on there. Pretty reasonable prices, considering this also includes the artwork.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you got of course, you got your men's and women's apparel, infant and youth, printed apparel, fitness apparel, dive parkas, pretty cool. Not that we'd need. Oh, come on. Because I'm a pro, I get special access. Not really. dive park is I'm thinking, never use that in Del Rio. But if you dive, if you have friends or family that dive up in colder climes, some good stuff to get. The headwear. I was looking at actually what spurred me on this, I was looking at a advertisement for signing up for something for Patty. And they were advertising a red knit cap beanie with the Patty logo. And can you guess where my mind went?
I have no idea.
It went here.
What?
The original Team Zissou clothing shop.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
No. No. That's...
The Aquatic Life with Steve Zissou is not a family-friendly movie, but it's kind of a cult favorite amongst scuba divers because it blows all kind of realistic believability. But of course, the big thing there was the beanie cap. You get the special beanie cap, so you can in fact get the beanie cap with the intern pin on it.
You know, that's a classic beanie.
Steve
right there.
C needs you. I love
That's a classic beanie right there.
You know, one of these days I'll get some clips of the little music. Remember, he had the guy that was writing the music for as the theme track for his story, and it was that really cheesy like TR-808 drum beat with the real cheesy
I can't even remember it now.
Walmart store-bought keyboard, sound. But those were kind of fun.
Those were cool back then. But that's a classic beanie right there.
That is immediately where my thought went. So that would be an idea for something you could get somebody. If
I would need it because I shave my head.
Your melon, is that what you were going to say? Your melon,
my melancholy it gets kind of cold,
No, don't be melancholy. It's not worth being melancholy. Cheer up. Don't be melancholy. Put on a happy face.
My melancholy gets a little killed this time of year.
Put on a happy face. It's all good. So if you want to get your diver friend something really nice, you can go to paddygear.com or you can go to the Team Zissou.
Team Zissou.
It's the aquaticlife.org. O-R-G. You can get some of the authentic gear.
But the beanies are only in red.
Well, of course, for Steve Zissou, they would only be red.
They would only be red, that's why.
But, of course, in the Patty site, you can get them in a number of fashionable colors, including
purple.
Red. Yes, you can get yes, it's athletic, interesting. Athletic purple, athletic red. What is athletic purple?
I don't know.
Is it runny? What?
I don't know, I guess.
And then it's just black. Why is it not athletic black? Brown. Why is that not athletic brown? Then they have Millennium Blue. Millennium Blue. Is that like the Millennium Falcon? That's the beanie that they wear on the Millennium Falcon.
That's it.
And then they've got Navy. In the Navy. Yes. So you can get a number of different colors there. And of course, you can get the Patty logo on it, which looks pretty sharp. The picture I saw was pretty interesting. So, if you want to get somebody something nice like that, of course, any kind of gear. But speaking of the Sport Diver Holiday Guide, they kind of broke things down into different price categories. So I happen to have, and of course, here we go. The first item up for bids. These are the ones you were pointing at. I said, oh, sure. This is the Mares Extreme Fin, and obviously comes in multiple colors. Let's see. Those are running. Go got it in my hot little hands here. That's what it looks like close up.
Nice.
Let me get my old man glasses. At 50 years old, it's with my contacts in, I can't read up close. So MSRP, of course, you always have to take MSRP, a manufacturer suggested retail price, with a grain of salt, because
it's so true.
That's going to be what they say you should sell it for, but obviously discount places are going to get it for significantly cheaper. So these are MSRP'd at $199, which means you can probably get them for about $120 if you like.
And also when you're talking about fins, don't get discouraged. Fins are somewhat expensive compared to other pieces of equipment, but they're very important. They're very important.
Try swimming without them.
Exactly. But not only that, there's different types of fins. You've got hard fins, soft fins,
right.
Flex fins.
Fins that flex a lot.
Yeah, split fins. Robert's got some split fins.
Love them.
They all do different things, so they're worth the money. Please invest in a good pair of fins because they will last you a long time. Yeah, don't go to Walmart and get the cheap ones in the little kiddie section or in the sports section, because those will last you maybe a season, and they certainly won't be able to take a pounding of a real dive. No. They're great for snorkeling on the surface, but that's about it. So these are nice. Some really awesome looking ones. I like the fact, as you can see on the top here, they're poured so water won't. It's easier to get your foot because you typically would be wearing a boot with these fins. You would be able to put your boot in there, and it would push any water that's in them out of the way. So it'd be very easy to get your boots in there, which is pretty nice. Those are nice. Those are really good looking. Match your BC too. Hey, that's right. That would match my Mata's BC. Which we have one of those in, not the same model that I have, but it is an MRS type system. So next up, and this is the under $200 range, by the way. Next we have the Telos Thermo Wall 5mm dry boot. Those are pretty nice looking, except I'll be honest with you. Those are running $79. Which means you probably get them for about $69. Those aren't going to be marked up as high, I think. I like a thicker sole on them. Of course, that means you'd have to fit yourself for larger fins to fit them. But, walking around the shoreline and at Lake Amistad, it's all those rocks. I tell you, there's nothing like knowing your feet are protected. I have a pair of deep sea 3mm boots, and they have that same sole on them. Yeah. They're, you feel everything, even the little seashells. They're not very nice. And yes, we do have seashells at Lake Amistad. Next up, also from Telos, these look pretty interesting. They're Cali Dry 3mm dry gloves. These look like welding gloves almost. I was about to say that. It looks like I can wash some serious dishes with them bad boys. No kidding. Keeps your hands nice and soft. If you can't afford these, just go to Walmart and buy the yellow latex ones. Yeah, really. Some duct tape and you're good to go. Nice. And these MSRP for $51, which means you can probably get them for about $42, something like that. But not bad. Okay, speaking of fins, the Aqualung Hot Shot. These are, I think, a variation on the Slingshot fins, because I recognize the stretch bands, and I can't tell if these are adjustable like the Slingshot is. The Slingshot, I think, is adjustable, isn't it? The Slingshots are adjustable. And I'd seen these. I just really never read about them to see what the difference between these and the... These are shorter. They're a shorter paddle. Is that what it is? So, yeah. So I think this would probably have a more specialized use, maybe in stronger water, a current, a stronger current, where you want less flex and more power, but then having the snap capability of the bands would definitely be a benefit. And you can see they come in multiple colors. My wife would probably like the pink. Pretty neat. Those MSRP for $129, which means you can probably get them about $110, something like that. The slingshot are expensive.
How much are those running?
They're in the 200 range.
Yeah.
They're about the same as the split fins from Scuba Pro.
Okay.
They're
So this would be like the kid brother to
250.
those.
Yeah. But, you can get those on Leisure Pro for under $200, the slingshot.
Oh, nice.
So those, if you could find them on Leisure Pro, you're probably right around
Right.
120.
Okay.
Around there.
Well, then we have also, I'm a big fan of the reverse teardrop mask.
Yeah, me too.
They give you so much more. When you're looking down at your gear and all you see is the bottom of your mask, that gets frustrating. You end up having to throw your mask on your forehead so you can see what you're doing. So to combat that, it's a very, very popular feature now to have masks that have this reverse teardrop. So it gives you that downward visibility. And these are from Cressy, fine makers of wonderful variety of scuba products. The Cressy Big Eyes Evolution Mask, MSRP for $88.95. So I'm betting you probably get them for about $65-70. And
I got that. Like
you've got this very one.
It doesn't have the clip like that, but it's the older version of that.
Okay,
same light.
This is
From
I
Pelican?
guess they go by it's the Pelican Nemo 2010, and I thought that was the year, but no, that is the model.
Oh,
because
okay.
they have a number of different models, even that use the same casing, but they're slightly different innards. Some are LED, some will be halogen, etc.
Yeah, the one I have is halogen.
This is a LED, and interestingly, it has a pinpoint beam to it, 32 hours of burn time on 3 C cells, believe it or not. And if you look, the bezel is glow in the dark. So as your light is shining, it's charging up the glow in the dark feature. So you can see that even when your light's off, which is pretty cool. I like that. Nice feature.
Wow, that's a C-size battery?
I know. It doesn't look like it would be.
No,
I was thinking it'd be like AA.
Yeah, well, the one that I have is AA, so it doesn't.
So this is a little bit bigger than that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So 3 C cells. Obviously, they'd be one in front of the other. MSRP for $72.95.
That's got to be a big light then.
Yeah. I would still say this is qualify as a BC light.
Yeah.
Not as a primary. And next up we have, you'll like this. This is the water shot casing for iPhone 4 or 4S.
Oh.
Good for 130 feet.
Wow. Yeah, but what are you going to do at flash? Things get dark at 80 feet.
Well, yeah, exactly. And unless you're out in the ocean.
Right, but that should be awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. Yeah, compatible with the depth rated 130 feet, compatible with the iPhone 4 and 4S. So, sorry, iPhone 5 users, you're going to have to wait probably another year before they come out with a version that fits yours. MSRP on this, $99. Actually, for a case that's rated for that depth.
Not bad.
That's really inexpensive.
Yeah, most camera cases that are rated at 150 or below are as expensive as the camera itself.
Actually, more expensive than the cameras.
You're looking at $300 or $400 just for the case, guys. So that is not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And it's a bright yellow, so it's hard to miss.
Yeah,
I like that.
That is neat.
So, never really to be said that I totally turn my nose up at iPhone users. I see if there's a good market thing for them. Yeah, I'll put it out there.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, I did notice that it was kind of a shame they didn't have a way to also add the flash, but then probably the casing would create a weird effect with the flash anyway.
Yeah. Wow, pretty neat.
Okay, next up we have the IST Sports Super Stretch 3mm suit. They didn't have a price with it. Obviously, it's available in multiple sizes and everything. Nice looking suit. It's really kind of a no frills design. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, 230. So we're in above the 200 range, 2 to 4. Nice looking suit. Really not much in the color realm. Very, very light neoprene covering for the shoulders and knees. The typical, back zip type. But, if if you really want to extend your dive season, having a 3 mil full suit would definitely help start your season earlier and end it a little bit later.
Yeah.
So,
But how much, though, realistically, how much warmth do you think you would get with a 3 mil full? I mean,
well, here's the thing. You know, the shorty obviously covers your core,
right.
but being able to cover
the rest of your body.
the rest of your body would help hold in more heat. So it's just going to give you that much more warmth to extend. At the very least, it would help you to get deeper dives too.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
that is
if
true.
you dive like us, if you end up going to like Balmaray or St. Felipe Creek, where the water temps are about 76 degrees, a 3 mil full is actually quite comfortable for that.
Yeah.
You know, you can get by a 3 mil shorty. I certainly did that most of the year, but you dive a little bit later, a full would be good.
You know, now that I think about it, in the times when we've gone diving in the summer, when we go kind of deep, even with our shorties and our 3 mils, the water does, the therm climb kicks in at, I don't know, like what, 75 feet around it or something like that, to where it starts getting a little cooler.
Yeah.
I'm okay still, but you're right. If I had my arms covered and my legs covered, it'd probably
you'd really be nice.
Yeah,
and comfy.
definitely. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see that. That's cool.
So, okay, and then also we have by Bear, who really, they got most of their business early on in their corporate life, doing stuff for surfers, etc., triathloners, and those kind of people. And then they, over the years, they finally realized, you know what, we could venture out into building a little bit more heavy-duty stuff for scuba diving. So they've really been coming up with some nice designs for a reasonable price for theirs. This is the Bear Elastec 3mm wetsuit. This one runs MSRP $299. It's a little bit more expensive than the IST, but it's a nice looking suit. It's got the covered seams on it, so you don't have to worry about watching the threading fray on you. So nice looking wetsuit. Some more fins here. Let's see, which ones are these? Which ones are those? Oh, that's the Cetatec. I've never heard of this company. Cetatec, Cetatec, Aqua Bionic Warp 1 fin. Be the first to dive a fin touting the world's most advanced fin technology, which Cetatec calls water adapting responsive propulsion. What does that mean? Water adapting.
I'm going to assume that means fast.
I guess. Available in 3 sizes and 4 colors.
Guys at home, what that means is these fins are so awesome, you don't even have to kick. They'll prepare you.
There we go.
You themselves.
I don't know if I want to try out something new for $225 MSRP.
That's a lot of bucks for that.
Yeah, but they're an interesting looking fin.
Yeah.
But it'd be one of those I'd want to try before I buy. I'd want to go someplace where you can get in the water and say, all right, you have a used pair that I can just try and see how they feel.
This seems like a trip to Dive World in San Antonio. You got these fins? Let me try them out on your pool.
Yeah, really, exactly. They might look at you and go, set a what? What's set a what? Set a tech? No, never.
Yeah.
So, okay, here we get into regulator. Modus Instinct 12S reg. Ultra streamlined second stage design. MSRP for $399, which means you can probably get it for about $340, something like that. That's a very compact second stage there.
Is that the port just off to the side?
Yes, it is.
Only one to the...
Yeah.
Not adjustable, but...
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's adjustable, but if you're trying to streamline yourself, this is definitely a minimalist exposure. Pretty nice.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And then we also have the Tusa RS790, our MSRP for $479. Breathes easy, delivers some serious muscle reg performance if you ever need it. Solid all-around performer. A lot of regulator for the price. It is adjustable, as you can see. Well, actually, this version, right there.
That's a free flow, isn't it?
Oh, that might be.
Yeah, that's a free flow.
So
Nice.
And it's a pretty low profile too. I noticed that the exhaust ports literally disappear behind the mouth of the face of where the purge is. So that's cool. I like that. I like streamline. My wife does not like the bubbles in her face, so she's got one where the ports are way out there, so that when she's moving forward, that the bubbles will go by the side of her face instead of in front of her eyes.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. This would be the sister to the BC that I have. This is Mata's hybrid, using the MRS type removable weight pouches like mine. It's a design that works well as long as you make sure the pouches are the right size for your BC. But this one's a hybrid, so that it's got both the back flate and the wraparound. But you notice the sides are much shorter, much more minimalist compared to the one that I have. But it looks like it's using the same power inflator that I've got.
The back looks tapered, like around the shoulders.
Yeah.
Looks
it sure does.
Looks pretty neat.
Yeah. Nice design. I like it. This, I wonder how it collapses, because now I'm kind of in that mode of
travel.
Yeah, looking for something that's more suited for travel. This might be. My current one does not collapse very well. No. Speaking of that, this is a sharp-looking one. I am not a backflate person at all. However, the Cressy Air Travel BC MSRP for $468, which isn't a bad price. Integrated weights pouches there. But, I mean, this is really, really minimalist, but it's a backflate. I do like the color accents on it.
I do. I was about to say
there is a pink
nice.
version of it, by the way.
I like it because it's very streamlined. I mean, small, no pockets at all in that thing.
Nope, there isn't.
I mean, it's just the weights and the buckles, and that's it.
Yep, you better be carrying your own little side pouch there, strapped to your leg or something.
That might make for a good traveling BC.
Yeah, that one looks like and it looks like it's a kind of a semi-soft back, so it would probably fold up nicely. So if you've got a traveling scuba diver you want to get something for, and you got a spare $500, actually that's a good price for something that's this well put together. And
Christian makes great products.
They really do. They really do. Another reg, Scuba Pro, the MK11/C200. Got the March issue of Sport Divers Editor's Pick. This one's $449 MSRP. I find it funny they call it a budget for the budget-minded. I can spend a lot less on a regulator and be for the budget-minded.
Well, if you're looking at Scuba Pro, their average regulator runs about $600.
Yeah, this is budget-minded for those who are Scuba Pro fans.
Yeah, their products.
That is a nice-looking BC. It's or reg. Kind of neat that the composite material, plastic or whatever it's made out of, on the first stage is colored to match the reg, which is pretty cool. And if I remember correctly, looking this up, it does come in multiple colors too.
Wow.
I don't think I saw pink though. So now this is kind of neat. I'm not ready to spend $700 on something like this.
Whoa.
Yeah. But this is the Thermolution Power Heated Vest. You basically have these power packs on the sides, and you just put batteries in them, and it heats the whole vest. Controllable with a little button there in the front. So you can put this underneath your wetsuit or dry suit.
And that's it.
And it will warm you up. I tell you, because I'm not a fan of dry suit diving.
Yeah.
This would be if I insisted on spending a little bit more than the 35 to 45 minutes on a cold dive in the middle of winter in Del Rio. This would be a nice addition. This would be the way yeah. That's pretty cool.
You know, you crank that baby up to 80 degrees, and there you go. Just getting yourself in the water.
It's either that or just pee in the wetsuit.
That only keeps you warm for so long.
That's true. That's true. That is very true. But this MSRP is for $699. Wow.
That's a lot of money, but
Yeah.
That's an ingenious
But they make a number of
design.
different products like this. So if you go to thermalution.com, they've got some really cool products there. I was looking at their website earlier today.
Yeah.
So what do we have next? Oh, yes. Now we get into a little bit of the camera action here. The CNC YSD1 strobe for $750. Also got an editor's pick.
That's the most expensive strobe.
That is an expensive strobe. I've got a strobe that only cost me $200. And I really like the strobe, but this is a pretty impressive looking. What I couldn't find out was how it reacts to your camera. Is there a cable? I would guess there is. The more efficient ones do use a cable, but I couldn't tell for sure. I hate the ones that work totally reacting off of your flash, so there's a delay.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the one you have?
It can go either way, but
Oh, okay.
I have the Intova, but the shell, the casing for the camera it doesn't support a cable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the problem. And then this is a pretty cool setup for $850 MSRP, which means you can probably get it for just under $800. This is the iClight Nikon L26 Deluxe package. Includes, of course, the casing, which is a nice looking casing. I like that. And it includes the Coolpix L26 camera, plus an AF35 auto flash and a travel bag. It's compatible with wide-angle lenses, simple to use. And as you can see, I mean, it's got a nice big screen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no difficulty seeing that inside the case. You can get it without the flash and the bag, and it's $400. So
Not
just the camera and the case, you can get it for $400. You can go to iClight.com. So this is actually pretty awesome.
That is reasonable for iClight because they make manufacturers
That
of
is their
the
thing.
cases,
Yeah.
cases, and we mentioned earlier, you can find a case for a camera if you have a well brand or a name brand camera. You might visit their website and see if they have an actual casing
Right.
for your camera. But you're looking at a couple $100 just for the case.
Yeah.
So they're including that for $400.
That's pretty nice.
That is sweet because most of their cases go for $400 by themselves.
Easily.
But that is awesome right there. Wow.
All right.
What is it rated at? Does it say?
You know what? I didn't look up what the L26. I could probably look it up on the website here. Let me do a search. Bing. And then Nikon L26 camera. Coolpix L26. That is 5 by optical zoom. Records 720 HD video. Nice. Do you see the megapixels on there? No. 16.
Should take some decent shots.
Yeah. 16 megapixel, 720 HD video.
Just slap a good memory card in that
You
baby
know
and
it.
you're good to go.
Yep. Pretty
Nice.
good.
Nice.
Pretty good. All right. So that would be a little bit above starter, but if you can squirrel it, I'm telling you now that we're really getting into the photography and underwater videography. But not to the extent of going like pro level.
Right.
This would actually be a good starter. If you really want to be pleased with the first things that you do, this would be a good one to get, I think. All right, a little bit back to the BCs. I know you.
That's mine right there.
This is the awesome BC. I got to say, and this one also comes in a couple of different colors too.
That i3.
This is the i3, the Axiom i3. 675 MSRP, which is really a lot lower than I thought it would be, which means you can probably get it for about 600. And as you can see on the left side here, it's got the power inflator deflator there. So notice that you don't have the typical over-the-shoulder power inflator hose. You have just a manual oil inflator hose that you can pull down.
Right.
But this is I've gone diving with this type of rig before.
Yeah.
The earlier versions, and I gotta say I like it.
I told with Dominic. Dominic has the i3, the one before this one.
Yeah.
The power inflator hose that you see on the upper left-hand shoulder of that picture, it's a little valve that comes out, but it can be replaced with an actual power inflator.
Right. Right.
Which he does have. He's got a redundant system there. But it actually is really neat the way that handle works. You just like go down and it takes the air out of the BC and you drop down. If you want to come up,
It's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Definitely makes it convenient.
The older versions weren't that expensive though.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Landon was selling it for.
I think he only paid $400 for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He got a great deal on it.
He had to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a nice one.
That's very nice.
So that's a good, worthwhile BC to get somebody, especially as an upgrade.
Oh, there we go.
This is this hovers right around $1,100. But if you know where to look and you've got the right secret handshake and password, you can get it for under $1,000. This is the Sea Life DC 1400 Duo Pro. It's called the Duo Pro because it's got. You notice it's got two trays mounted to it. One is a regular strobe for still photography. Good coffee?
Excellent.
Good coffee. It's got the regular power strobe. It's cable connected, which is nice, meaning you're always going to get it lined up correctly. And it's got an actual video light because this does really good HD videos. So you get the best of both worlds here. And this is what Tara and I are going to, looks like we've pretty much agreed this is going to be our Christmas gift to each other. Because we've really started to get into the photography. And, you know, people have seen on the podcast here that we've shown a lot of the video taken with the Intova IC10, which is 10 megapixel camera with casing and everything, and some still photographs. And it's fine as a really, really basic setup, especially no more expensive than it was, $250. But I really want much better quality because it's VGA quality video. And being able to get up to HD quality video for putting on the podcast and just
that would be nice.
Yeah. So that's really where we want to go. So we're definitely going to go with the Sea Life.
And
DC
that is the actual. Remember, I had told you that's the camera that I had seen. Actually, I saw it at Tom's dive shop in Austin when I picked up my gear.
To get your rigs.
Yeah, to get my gear service and safety tip: get your gear serviced over the down season right now. If you haven't, please do so. It's your life, please.
That's right.
But I went down there to pick it up, and they actually had it on the counter. And I looked at it, and it's got weight because you're looking at the two strobes. The light is so bright. You can actually use it as a light when you're diving at night. You can turn it on and just use it. They told me that, but I mean, I wouldn't want to use it.
But it's LED, so it's not going to burn out so quick.
Right, and it won't use up the batteries that are in it because it's LED.
Right.
But it is extremely bright. It gives a nice white...
what you want. That's exactly what you want when you're doing video.
But it was really nice, and I saw it, and I said, man, I want that. And I came in, I told you, and you're like, it's funny, but that's the one.
That's exactly what we've been looking at.
So,
we've been doing a lot of research.
Yeah, so it's a very nice setup. $1,000, and you get the best of both worlds.
Yep, you really do. So those are some ideas. Like I said, if you got a diver in your family or us, we'll take all comers there. When it comes to giving us gifts, we love it. Show your appreciation. So some good ideas. Go to pattygear.com or for the Steve Zissou fan in your life, stop by the aquaticlife.org and I would absolutely love one of those.
The minute I saw the red beanie, I knew.
You knew. So, or you can always go to divers-supply.com or leisurepro.com, and as we go into the holiday season, they're already starting up the Black Friday deals now. So they'll already start featuring their specially priced stocking stuffers, etc. And let's slip the dogs of war. Here come all of the dogs. I guess they have to make their weekly appearance. So, all right. All right, real quick. This is Greza, our youngest. Yeah, say hi to Britt. Oh,
Hello.
barking.
Uh-oh.
I guess we won't get to see the others because they're outside barking. All right, so anyway.
But real quick, Rob mentioned certain places where you can buy gear. Obviously, if you're in the market for a cold water wetsuit right now during this season is not the time to be looking for them because you're going to probably pay full price. Shop smart, I would say.
Shop S-Mart.
S-Smart. If you're looking for a wetsuit for the summer, of course, the wintertime would be the best time to look for one.
Where's Bruce Campbell when you need
I know, shop S-Smart. Where's my shotgun?
I know. Give me some sugar, baby.
But if you're looking for a full wetsuit for winter diving, the summer would be your best bet to buy them because they do discount them because, of course, it's the off season for that particular suit.
Oh, yeah. Army of Darkness. Bruce Campbell. My hero.
Get away from me, witch.
So
Even though that movie has to do with, demons and being
it's
possessed
just so
and everything.
over the top funny.
It was funny. I mean, the monsters are ugly and scary, but the way he just plays it off, it's just so funny.
What do you do when you have
Give me some sugar.
what do you do when you have a chainsaw for your hand?
Have you ever seen that movie Bubba Hotep?
No.
Oh my gosh. You gotta definitely check it out. Bruce Campbell comes out as Elvis Presley.
Oh no.
But he's in a nursing home.
Oh gosh.
See, he says you gotta see it, but there's a one scene where he's fighting an Egyptian mummy, and I just remember this one scene. Just don't make me use my cell phone, you. And he breaks his hip because he's old, and he does this karate move, and it's so hilarious. It's a Bruce Campbell movie. What can I say? If you like the Army of Darkness, you'll like this one. Trust me.
Funny.
Yeah.
So, anyway, those are some ideas of places to go to get some good holiday gifts for your diver friends or family.
For your diver loved one.
Yep. Kind of throwing back real quick to the Lumia 920. That's actually selling really well. They're having a hard time all over the world. They're having a hard time keeping them in stock. I mean, the black one is the easiest one to get right now, and it's still you're having to wait in most places. It's the color ones that are selling like crazy. The top two of the Lumia 920 are the red and that yellow. Believe it or not.
I mean, I've seen the magenta one that you have. That's the magenta, right?
No, this is cyan.
Oh, the cyan. That's right. My bad. My bad.
Magenta, Columbia.
During at the dive club meeting though, Jim and Ernest, appreciate meeting you guys. Shout out to you guys for making the meeting.
Exactly.
It was great chatting with you, and please, Jim, if you are considering, furthering your education to, you mentioned you were a rescue diver. Please go through and continue if that's what you choose to. Ernest, you pretty much content at stopping at, I believe, rescue diver, he said. Keep going, buddy, and we'll be there whenever you want to dive. Just give us a shout out. Yep. You guys got our information. But it was nice meeting you all. But when we were there at Rudy's, we were talking about the phones, and I had mentioned, that I was recently at the AT&T store looking at the phones, and I was very impressed with the 920. I liked it better than the HTC Windows phones, which I expressed, some of my likes and dislikes about the phones. The only thing I liked about the HTC phones is the color schemes because they had purple. But the Lumia,
I like the lime green, that lime yellow. I like that too. Nice color.
I didn't even pay attention to that one. I
saw the purple and that was it.
Yeah, I'm sold. Purple's my favorite color.
Yes.
But just the way it feels, you can tell the Lumia is a lot.
Substantial.
I think it's constructed better. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
It feels better in the hand. So if you're in the market, please look at both. And
if you're in the market for a Windows phone,
right? Weigh it.
Yeah.
see what you like. But my personal pick, I would go with the Lumia.
Lumia.
Lumia 920.
I run into more people that even have the phone and they call it Lumina.
The Lumina?
The Lumina was a car.
That's right. It
When
was by
Chevy Lumina.
That's right.
Nokia Lumia. Chevy Lumina.
It's the antihistamine that I'm taking.
That's what it is. It gives you the nose, the nasal bang.
nasal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll have a peanut butter nanner sandwich. Give me some sugar, baby. So,
smart.
Yes, shop smart. Shop S smart. Oh, Bruce Campbell. I may have to go look that up on Netflix now. But so those are doing really well.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, it's still not flying off the shelves like the iPhone. But, you know, interestingly, I think what we're seeing, although it's all relative, I've seen a number of reports where the tech heads are saying we may have started to see the hint of the peak for Apple in the post Steve Jobs, because they think the what was the phrase they use, burnout is starting to set in, they think. So they think having so many of their new products come out back to back like that got a lot of people frustrated. I just bought an iPad. I just bought an iPhone.
And you know, unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. You know, you're trying to compete with a bunch of new products that are coming out when you just released products not 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I think that was maybe not so smart on their part, because they're trying to rush products out, and I think honestly in the scheme of things, they're pushing products out when they're not truly tested. Like, for example, the issue with the iOS 6
which they've been improving on.
I've
seen a number of the updates on Tara's phone.
But they pushed it out, and it cost people jobs. You know, people got heads started rolling at the company, and it created an instability. So stock, and I've been following that.
Although a dramatic stock drop for Apple is a pittance compared to anybody else.
Did you see that? They're like, that's the end of Apple. It's like at their peak, their stocks were trading at $726 a
so
share.
It dropped to $500.
It dropped to $500 a share. That's the end of the company. You got like Dell, trading at $40. And that's good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dell made, record for the quarter, at $40 a share. Oh my God, that's the end of Apple. It, dropped to $500.
It was kind of funny.
So, but I did actually see that. Did you see that Google Maps? They actually
are they finally doing one for
Apple.
I knew it was just a matter of time, because
they're coming to the rescue, because
they had to.
the map application that was supposedly going to replace Google Maps didn't work out so well, which was a mistake. So now they've heads rolled at the company, and now they've actually I think they've approached Google. And
hat in hand, please, we're sorry.
According to the Wall Street Journal, they approached Google, and Google is creating an app for them.
Oh, good.
That's going to replace the map app that Apple tried to do on their own. But
tried to pull the short shrift, as they say.
I mean, good idea, good, and I want to say good.
Just bad execution.
Yeah, just a bad timing. I mean, they should have taken some time and actually played with it, experimented for a few years, and make sure.
I think it would not have hurt them in the market at all had they decided, you know what, let's wait until January or even February to come out with the iPhone 5. If they were bent on keeping the Apple Maps in there, they could have ironed out a number of issues and let the wave of people buying the new Android and new Windows phones kind of crest and start to fall. So they say, okay, now here's the 5.
But even that prior, when I had the iOS 5, before upgrading to 6, the Google Map was working great.
Yeah.
But
just as the whole package, here we got, they just had put out the iPhone 4, the 4S. they could have. I think they could have, instead of feeling rushed to beat everybody up with here's the 5. You know, they could have held back so they could refine everything about it. So that, you know, coming out in January or even February, they would have had no issues, and the market would still have gone crazy buying it. And
I mean, they rushed the product.
Yeah.
It came back and bit them in the butt, and then ultimately, it's selling like crazy.
Yeah.
Even though, despite all the flaws and
Yeah.
problems, it's still selling.
Yeah.
It would have sold just the same in
Yeah.
January.
yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
But now I think what they've unfortunately done is they've put a little blood in the water to show that they're not. I mean, they were never perfect before, but if you're an Apple fan, they really showed more weakness than I think they really should have, could have, or wanted to. And so this means that this is, I think, emboldened their competition, and I think that would be it for the tech heads who were saying, you know what, there's some burnout already being seen. Yeah, I could see that this doesn't help that problem, because now whatever they come up with in the next quarter or the second quarter of 2013, I don't think they'll see as rampant an acceptance of it, because people are like, hey, you just came out with the 5, you just came out with the iPad mini, and what else did you slight on? You know, I think the burnout is, and making this kind of a mistake at this point, set them up for a little bit of mistrust.
I think I agree with you 150% on that. My thing is, in the next quarter and a half, or in the next year, whenever, or 6 months, or whenever they're going to do this, they're going to have to come up with something to be released that's totally changed.
Yep.
Something totally innovative, something, and I know they can do it.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter of like them getting their heads together and saying, let's redevelop or reinvent a product.
Yeah.
Something that the customer wants to use.
Yep.
I mean, they did.
Wait a minute,
iPod.
that is never how Steve Jobs did it, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
he even flat out said, "He's like, no, we tell them what they want.
Okay, well, you know,
we make them. We just, you cannot live without this." That's how he always worked. And he had the personality and force of will to make that happen.
But you know, they reinvented everything in just 2 months. They redid the iPod.
Yeah.
They redid the iPad. They came out with a new iPhone. I mean, everything came out all at once.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they were thinking, but they should have done.
They were thinking this.
Exactly.
That's what they were thinking.
You know, they should have saved it and done it the right way, and just release one thing every few months, and that was it.
So, and I saw you posting the link about from who was it? USA Today. Yes, those idiots. That they were playing with the numbers of, you know, what was some silly percentage we're not going to be upgrading. The actual story, because I've read a number of versions of this, but the actual survey indicates that people aren't ready to just necessarily go out and buy a new machine just to upgrade. And the sales of the actual upgrade they're not as fast as for Windows 7, mostly because everybody hated Windows Vista so bad.
Yeah.
They're like, please let this fix it. So that was a large driver for that. But the sales have been decent for, I know at our household, they've been decent for the actual upgrade. And I think what they're missing out on is an opportunity to make the point a little bit clearer that this pricing for the downloadable upgrade is for a limited time.
Yeah.
It's not going to go on. At least they've originally published this is not going to go on forever. So if you're looking to upgrade for really reasonable price, $39, download it and install it. I mean, it's totally painless. Because I've done it on all the machines except the one that's doing this podcast, and I'm only delaying it because the people who write the software that the podcast runs on, XSplit, they're working on the Windows 8 version, which it sort of works on, but they have noticed a few issues when you're dealing with dual screen that they are trying to fix. So I'm holding off on that. But it's actually selling decent. And the big thing is people aren't necessarily ready to jump out and buy a new machine just because of Windows 8.
For me, I think I would rather go out and buy a new machine. And the reason I say this is because the operating system is designed for touch gestures and stuff. So the new machines now are, the companies like Dell, HP.
Go to Walmart. They got these all-in-ones with touchscreens.
The all-in-one with touchscreens now. So that's why I would say, you know what, I would make the investment. The $6,000 or $7,000 investment. Buy a machine now that has the Windows 8, but it's going to have a touch screen, so I'll be able to take full advantage of the full operating system at its, to its peak and its performance and everything else. And not only that, but the machines that most people have are usually, 3 or 4 years old to begin with. Yes, the operating system will support, because it will support up to, like, if your machine was XP, I think it'll work fine. But you're not going to have all the bells and whistles that you really want. And that's why I would make that investment. And then I wouldn't have to mess with it for at least 3 years, and my machine would be good to go, So, of course, the random updates on the OS here and there. But
I tell you, I have to say, having it on the laptop right here, having it on my testing machine over here, and also on Tara's laptop, you can hear the dogs going. Their new toys. Installation was a breeze. Whether you're doing the in-place upgrade or if you're doing the wipe and load, really no issues. I will say, being honest, on my wife's laptop, which is the oldest machine we now have, the performance is there is some lag on load times of certain things. It doesn't, but on my laptop, it's fast. On my older desktop over there, it's fast. I'm sure it's going to scream on my quad core here once I get it on there. It does beg for you to swipe the screen and do stuff, but I'm finding it's very smooth, very easy to work with. I'm having none of the issues as far as learning curve. Of course, I've worked with it from developer preview on, but some of the people are just, where's my start button? I'm like, I so don't miss it. As a matter of fact, I spend so little time on the desktop, which I have the desktop up here because of the way I want to see, the way I want to move multiple screens up here. I can throw a third one up on here. And that's the virtue of having the both platforms, if you will, within one.
But there is a way to get the start screen back up. Did you see that? I actually posted a link, and it's from Microsoft. Those of you that are out there that are running Windows 8, if you truly need to see the start screen, you can go in there and manipulate it. It's got step-by-step instructions where to go. You, I think it's something on the Metro interface. You go there, you click on it, it opens up
It's got to be a registry entry.
Yeah, something. You make a quick little change, and bam, it's there. It's just turned off. But you can turn it back on, and you'll manipulate everything back like it used to be.
And that's just, to me, that's just like the lame way of dealing with it, because I find the start screen and the Metro interface is just, I find it so easy to work with. I mean, it's you know what the most difficult part of using it with a laptop is if you don't have a mouse attached. Yeah. The little mouse pads, I don't even like those to begin with, but they're just there. But I can fly over this with the mouse. You can easily move to different places so quickly. But it definitely works faster with a mouse. Yeah. And of course with a touchscreen it'd be awesome. But golly, the dogs. But it works so smoothly. I have no issues with it. I really like to spend more time in the Metro interface. The store is so convenient. It's like it works. It's like how it works on your smartphone, whether it's an Android. Oh my gosh, like on an Android or iPhone or the Windows Phone. It's so easy to get to apps that you might want to install, games or whatever. It's so easy to get to that. Been getting used to the how it syncs up with the Windows 8 phone, Windows Phone 8, because it doesn't use Zune. it uses now a Windows Phone Connect app.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually, it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to it because it is so different from Zoom, and I really like Zoom. But you see, I'm not like those little stodgy people out there who's like, it's not Zoom, and so I can't use it. I'm like, no, I'm embracing it.
That's good. That's good.
And you can transfer files directly now. Windows Phone 8 supports that. Some people were complaining, oh, I want to drag and drop files. So you can drag and drop files on there if you want.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Again, you know, don't get discouraged. Those of you that are, you know, pro Windows, it just takes a little getting used to, like everything else. Of course, this is a big change for their OS. This is the first time they've made changes like this.
Yeah.
And they're designed for, again, touchscreen application, or should I say devices. But again, like Rob says, you know, you can go to Walmart and you can find most machines now are going to have a touchscreen to it. Right. So that's kind of where I would do it if I was going to do this. I would not mind, you know. Remember that Dell, the big one I showed you, the 27-inch?
That was a sweet looking device.
Now that's awesome. That's something. If I was gonna go that route, I'd do it that way. And we even joked about that's probably another way that Apple is kind of go to, because they don't have a touchscreen. But
that would be the next step.
I would see them, you know, doing their iMac, the big monstrosity machine, coming up with a touchscreen, so you can just move stuff over.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, you still have the desktop. So if you want to live there, if all of the programs you're ever going to use are on the desktop, you've got it. I mean, it's there. You can spend all your time there if you want to. I just think that most folks, once the newness of the Metro interface, once they get over that and they say, you know what, it's just so convenient to have it all right there, most are going to find, okay, I'm going to quickly move that way. And eventually you're going to see all the apps are written for that anyway. They're not going to be desktop apps, with probably one or two exceptions. I'm waiting for Office.
Oh, the new Office? Yeah.
Because actually, I find myself spending most of my time in the web version, even though I do have the preview of Office 2013 on here. And it is, of course, desktop. And even on the Surface RT, it runs in the desktop mode on that. I find myself just using the web interface on the Metro side so much. It's just so much easier.
Yeah. Oh, and did you see about that lawsuit that lawyer suing Microsoft
for what?
Apparently,
that's like a salmon swimming upstream, only to get smacked by a bear.
Here's the problem, and this is something that's been probably ongoing for years. Just some guy finally decided, I'm going to sue. Most of the time when you buy a new machine or you know, a new computer, if you look at the drive space,
okay, I know what you're talking about.
The drive space, a portion of it is actually allocated for the operating system that's on there. So not a big thing when you're buying a computer and it's got a 500 or a terabyte gig hard drive. It's going to use a smidge of that. You don't notice it.
Right.
Well, this individual apparently bought the
Surface RT,
the Surface RT, and it was supposedly originally going to come with a 16 gigabyte memory, like storage space. Well, when he bought it, it only had like 5, because the operating system took up the rest. So he's suing them for false advertising, because apparently the device did not have the storage space that it stated it's supposed to have.
I have to admit that would be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily call that false advertising, but because they're telling you exactly what size the storage is on it. But to only leave you with a less than half of it available because of the OS, I definitely see that there's a problem with that.
You know, that's something.
Which is why I'm waiting for the Pro.
Right. I think that's a simple fix. Well, not simple, but I mean it can be fixable. The only thing they'll have to do is go back and just increase the amount of memory storage that the device has, so that once the OS is installed on this, you have that, you know, 15 or 16 gigabytes storage, so that you can whatever
Well, thing is, you also have the micro SD slots for those, so you can expand memory for whatever. What are they up to now as far as micro SD cards? It's just crazy.
Crazy.
So you can add more memory, and obviously that's now the only thing you can't do is install programs to it.
Right,
You would be storing
it won't
your
run
data
legacy,
there.
right? But I guess I could see that where the guy would get, he'd be upset about it.
I totally agree. That's
So
definitely
he
an
is
issue.
suing Microsoft for that particular.
They'll probably give him a free micro SD.
You know
card.
what? Bring it back to me, and all they're gonna do is solder another chip.
Oh, they'll just trade it out for. Which I have to admit, I have been seeing that they have some issues with the touch cover. Have you seen that?
No.
Yes.
The
In interest
keyboard?
of full disclosure, yes, I love the touch cover. It's awesome.
It looks nice.
However, there have been a number of people complaining that because with the touch cover, you can have it in the regular mode like a laptop, and then you can also flip it around behind it while it's still connected, and it disables the keyboard, so you're not holding it and accidentally hitting keys. But evidently, you do this enough times, the material is evidently starting to split in places because it fatigues the material, and so you can see wires and things like that. So, and in a few cases, people have said that where the edges of the material have started to fray.
Ooh.
So I think that's definitely a quality control issue. They better get
definitely.
that fixed before I get my Pro. That's all I got to say.
Right. I have the smart cover on my iPad, and I've had my iPad for over a year now.
Yeah.
And that thing is taking the abuse of myself, my wife, and my 2 kids. And trust me, my 4-year-old, like,
Puts a
he
whooping
puts
on
it to its test. That thing is still, aside from, of course, just wear and tear.
Yeah.
But like dirty fingers, it gets, dirty on it and stuff like that. The condition around the sides and that thing is still intact.
Yeah.
So they made a really good product there, but
It doesn't do a function other than cover.
It
device.
just covers.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't have wiring in it. So that's what Microsoft had as a challenge, to make something that had that kind of flexibility. But still had the function of a keyboard on it. So
ingenious
that's huge.
idea. I mean, it looks sharp.
Clearly,
but they
some
just gotta-
execution problems.
They just got to fix that, and maybe just I don't know, thickening up the fabric around certain areas
make
or
it
something.
that can't fatigue.
Yeah,
from
I'm pretty
use.
sure it'll be pretty good.
But if you're and still they're selling like hotcakes. People are still in lines buying those things. So I'm glad for them, but I'm telling you, I think the RT personally, I think the RT was a mistake.
Yeah.
I think because they've got that new Intel's got that new Clover Trail chip that matter of fact, Paul Thurrott, my hero in the Windows world, he was looking at some comparative testing, speed tests, etc., of the Clover Trail against the ARM chip being used for the RT devices. Because, by the way, Surface isn't the only RT device coming out. Some of the other OEMs are coming out with RT devices.
Yeah.
And Clover Trail's just eating its lunch and not using any more power.
Wow.
Which that's the big thing. The whole thing behind getting the ARM and RT to run on ARM was so that they could get the kind of battery life that the iPad is getting. That was what they were gunning for, is be able to be competitive there. Well, if the Clover Trail gets you the lower power requirements, so your battery life is extended, and it runs faster, and oh, by the way, it will run the full Windows 8 architecture.
There you go.
What was the purpose of RT? It was stupid.
I honestly, I think we're looking at another Apple issue. They just want to hurry up and get something out there.
I do too.
To get into the game.
I think it was a mistake to do the RT. I would have just said, you know what, let's get the Pro ready to go.
Well, we just had the discussion. Why put out the iPhone 4S when the iPhone 5 was coming out?
You knew they were working on it.
Yeah, everybody knew, because when the iPhone 4, when they announced, okay, everybody was speculating the new iPhone
5,
they just came out with it. They just threw an S on there and added Siri.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, we were expecting an iPhone 5.
Yeah.
Well, they came out with this tablet, and I think that they did it because, one, we're pushing out a new operating system that is for touch devices. You know, and I remember reading something also that Microsoft is getting into the actual hardware now. You know, before they were a software company, now they're starting to make devices.
That's why they dropped the software part off of their description.
Yeah, so now it's
now they're hinting at a Surface phone.
Ooh,
Yes, they're hinting at a Surface phone. Yes.
Something is gonna be on this desk here soon, or
I don't see something taking this place very. It would take a lot. The HTC 8X came close, but because the camera on this is just phenomenal.
No, but you know, and then you're right. They made the RT when in just a month they're gonna come out with the Pro version. Yeah. You know, why do that?
Exactly. And a special guest appearance by Ronan.
That's his way of saying hello.
That's right. That's all I can say. And then, of course, trying to get attention is Gray's over there with her toy. So, so lots of interesting stuff going on tech. Definitely. Christmas time is going to be very tech crazy for people. You're going to see all sorts of touch screens and tablets and iPad and other tablets, and you're going to see phones go. People are going to have nothing but electronics. Electricity use is going to going to go through the roof.
You're going to start getting headaches from all the Wi-Fi.
Everybody's going to have brain cancer. Yeah. Well, one final thing before we do our trips, training, and tech, which we kind of already hit the tech. Modern Warfare Black Ops 2 came out and
hottest selling game right now.
Broke all sorts of records. $500 million dollars in the first 24 hours.
Yeah,
it beat the previous record, which was held by the first Black Ops, which was $400 million. And it sold twice as many as, or made twice as much as
the Twilight Saga.
Oh, oh, don't even get me started. Did you go see it?
No, not yet.
Are you going to see it?
Yeah, I got to. I have to. I'm just gonna, I'll wait in line.
Team Edward.
Team Edward. That's Rob is Team Edward.
I'm Team ScubaDog. Thank you very much.
I remember waiting in line, back in the day to see these like early release, like, for Tron or the Underworld movies or the Resident Evils.
Yeah.
These lines are like crazy. The kids are crazy for this franchise of movies and books and everything. I mean, obviously the kids aren't reading the books anymore, which is a shame because the books tend to be better than the movies. But I mean, the lines were like all the way around the mall. It was crazy. I ran into a couple of students there at the high school. They had gone to go see the premiere on Thursday.
Right.
And
the midnight
they
showing.
said that they got home at like 3 o'clock in the morning because the movie ran long.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the movie started at midnight. They went in to sit.
Almost 3 hour long movie.
They went to sit. They went into the theater at 10 o'clock. They opened them up so they can start seating the kids.
Good grief.
And then the movie didn't start till midnight. So they were sitting there for 2 hours.
Yeah, it was a midnight showing. So 12:01 started.
12:01 when the movie started, and they didn't get home until like 3:30. So they were dragging on Friday there at the school. But I did ask them, was it worth it? And of course, everybody, it was the best movie ever. So
vampires
I am gonna see it.
Real.
I am gonna see it because
are not real.
Robert is Team Edward and I'm Team Jacob.
I am not. I am Team ScubaDog. Crazy.
But no, I'm not gonna go see it. Yeah. But yeah, Black Ops. Back to Black Ops.
Yeah.
Broke all kinds of records. Best selling, highest selling game right now.
Yeah, that's on my Christmas list.
Yeah,
that'll be the one thing for me.
You have an Xbox?
No. That's for PC.
It's on PC also?
Oh, Halo 4, which I was all excited for till they said it's only for the Xbox. I'm like, fail.
I know people that will buy an Xbox just to play that game.
Well, then they do have that special Halo 4 Xbox you can buy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I go into this, I'm not a console gamer. It's just not fun to me. I've tried to play Xbox and what's the big contender against it? PlayStation. I've tried to play on those. Give me a keyboard and mouse. That is how I play. That's it.
You know, you can always look at it as a Microsoft product, since I know you're pro Microsoft. But you can also use the Kinect as well.
Well, here's the thing, though. They make a Kinect for Windows. And that's where I see it all going. I see it going where you have a combination of voice, touchscreen, and gesture. That's where I find that the point... Oh, good grief. I think that we're going to see... Come here. We're going to see a time within a year where people are starting to buy machines that you hardly ever have to type. That the Kinect, being so refined, is going to be able to have gestures that mimic, without you having to actually touch the screen. You would do the touch screen for certain things like your like a tablet or whatever, but I could just stand away from my desk and do hand motions and it would know what I'm doing. And then do voice commands, which actually Windows 8 does pretty decent with voice commands already. I've been playing with it on my test machine over there. But I think a combination of the voice commands and being able to do gestures, that would be welcome to Iron Man 2.
It's gonna be called HAL, and then when you try to turn it off, it's gonna tell you, "What are you doing, Robert?"
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this kind of takes us back to the smartphones a little bit. Here's why I don't like Siri. It's like HAL. I don't want a computer that's like HAL. I want a computer that's like the computer on the Enterprise. Doesn't have a conversation with you, just answers your questions, does what you want it to do. I want the comfort of speaking to it to simply say, computer, open my latest Windows file, or my latest Microsoft Word file, or open the letter to whoever, or I need to edit this, I need to edit Excel spreadsheet, blah, blah, blah. And it opens it up, and then I can start dictating to it. That is where I want to go. I don't want to have a discussion with my phone or my computer. Yeah. That is, and I think that is ultimately where the two mindsets are in developing the voice interface. Apple sees it as a conversation. I know that's too creepy for me, and it wastes my time. You know me. I'm a lean Six Sigma guy. I want technology to reduce the time that I have to do things, not increase the time. Siri actually introduces more time to do things because you get into discussion and eventually it'll become a debate with your phone or something.
When you start arguing with your phone, you got problems.
Exactly. I'm sorry, Robert. You don't want to do this. No, I really do. No, I'm sorry you don't.
No. What are you doing, Robert?
Yeah, exactly. I have the highest enthusiasm for this mission.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I'm making a reference to 2010 A Space Odyssey, or 2001 A Space Odyssey, where the computer went crazy and just killed everybody because it developed a conscience.
Yes.
We like to watch movies.
Yes. So anyway, I think that's where the two mindsets are going. But I really, with as detailed as the Kinect is getting now, especially for Windows, I think it's just a matter, this next Xbox that comes out, it's going to make that big leap forward in everything. It's going to be a lot more graphics capable. It's going to fully leverage all that they've been pumping into the current Xbox, which is amazing for a platform that's over 10 years old. Yeah. That they've been keeping it fresh, even though it's got ancient hardware design as far as what it supports logically. They've been, it's amazing to me that it's got the legs that it has and still stands out as still the #1 selling console.
Yeah.
So I think with all the things it's going to be doing as your central hub for entertainment and connectivity, I think it's going to become, as a matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they start building full routing capability into it and maybe, I don't know, partnership with Cisco or somebody else, and that becomes your mega router. It does all your network area storage, holds your media, connects you to everything that you do, then we'll focus through that.
Well, like right now, my PlayStation pretty much does that. I can upload music to it. I can upload like video, pictures. When I connect my computer, it actually sees it.
Well, and the network. With the Xbox 360, you can too.
Yeah, so I mean, they're pretty much already there. I think the only thing is like the Wii when it was, which was very innovative.
Now they have the Wii U.
The Wii U, yeah. Microsoft came out and said, okay, you don't have to have a joystick. You are the joystick, because it recognizes your movements as, and I think Microsoft excelled at that perfect.
Yeah, the Kinect
with
is
the
awesome.
Kinect. So we'll just wait and see what else comes up. Yeah. But these guys are working hard to come up with some awesome products.
Yep.
I think it's just great.
Have you ever gone to the Microsoft Research website and just looked at some of the stuff that they're we're talking about serious bleeding edge technology that they're coming up with.
Is that the one where the guys are all sitting at the table scratching their head, like wondering what they're doing?
No. No. It's amazing the stuff they're coming up with. It's nowhere near ready for prime time, and would require hardware that just isn't consumer available yet. But the stuff they've got, a lot of these things they've been doing have come from that. But I've seen some of their, by the way, here's what we're doing. And some of their videos of stuff they've come up with just boggle my mind. Being able to, instead of your phone being this, it's just going to be a
piece of glass.
It'll be a flexible glass, almost like plastic. And it brings everything up on it. And then you set it down on like a surface like table, and immediately the table surrounds it with data that's connected to it. And it basically interacts immediately, physically and logically, with the device, and then you can throw stuff to, it's like with this, I love the Play 2. I can have videos, or let me watch a YouTube video and then play to my TV.
See, that's the kind of screen you want right there.
I absolutely do. You gotta, let's throw that up on let me zoom in on you here.
Rob wants a screen that
is absolutely,
it's kind of hard to see it, but there's a guy working with the new Windows 8.
Yes.
But look at the size of display that he's got up there for presentations.
Is that the 80-inch? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's huge. It's up on the wall.
That's awesome.
So you're touching the screen and it's manipulating everything. So that's pretty neat. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
That is amazing.
But this is actually the one where I'm telling you, on how to add the menu to the Windows 8. It actually tells you and where to go, and it's on the Metro interface. It's one of the tiles. You click on it, and you go in there, and it tells you how to change it. So if you're that headstrong on needing the start menu, you can get it.
Grow up, learn how to tie your shoes, and change your underwear. So, oh gosh, there go the dogs. Okay, real quick. Wow, a 2-hour-long show. Can you believe it?
You guys miss me?
I'm telling you. All right, trips, training, and it's just trips and training at this time. Okay, so our next Dive Club meeting is 20th of December, right before Christmas. Again at Rudy's. We're open to other ideas though, but I just really like it's convenient to go into Rudy's. A lot of room.
Good baked potatoes.
Yeah. And then of course, again. We'd love for some of you to join us on our trips to Balmoral. We think we may have 2 new takers on at least one of those trips.
Yes, definitely.
Jim, that's right.
Jimbo.
17 through 19 May, 14 through 16 June, 19 through 21 July, and 16 through 18 August. So if you'd like to have a very relaxing time in a beautiful area, really, no real effort in the dive. It's just nice, relaxing time. Balmoral is the place to go.
You know what, folks? And if you don't dive, please don't let that be a hindrance for you to come and join us. Just come
absolutely.
Out. It's a wonderful park just to get away for the weekend. Nice. You hang out,
swim,
swim,
dive off the diving board, or whatever.
Just hang out. You can sunbathe there. It's just a nice environment. And they sell ice cream there too.
Oh yes, yes.
The Bluebell, what is it?
The Grizzly. I love those. And we can't find those here. I have looked. I cannot find those. So if you ever run across a place that sells those,
the Grizzly,
you let me know because I will be stocking up. Those
Bluebell
awesome.
Grizzly.
They're awesome.
But no, it is a really nice place to go for vacation or just get away. It is very recluse, very like out there in the middle of nowhere. So. If you're going to decide to go, please contact one of us. If it's your first time visiting there, we'll tell you what you need to take. Yeah. Because
we've done it so many times.
Yeah. food is pretty much what you take. They have barbecue pits and stuff like that. In order for you to actually get a good sit-down restaurant dinner, you're going to have to drive about an hour into Fort Stockton to get anything to eat, like at a McDonald's or something.
Yep.
So that's kind of a long way to go for a burger. But so yeah, if you're going to go and never been there, please go. But if you have any questions, please let us know.
Exactly. You can always check us out on Facebook. Just go to Facebook and then do a search for Del Rio Dive Club, and you'll find us, or hit us up on the website, delriodiveclub.com. And, of course, you can check ScubaBob out at his Twitter feed, at rsgarza435, or email him at rsgarza821 at yahoo.com. And then, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at RobertCFP, or hit my email at robert.wade@setifox.net. Not cdfox, at setifox.net. And we always like to hear from you. And please, if you're watching anytime you're watching the podcast live, jump in the chat room. We love to interact with you. Eventually, I think they'll get the Skype interface working with XSplit cleanly, and we'll be able to bring people in with Skype, which will be awesome.
That would be great.
Yep.
You know, and it's and it was good. It's nice to hear because we met two individuals at our latest dive meeting this past week, and Jim actually said, "Oh yeah, I actually caught one of y'all's podcasts," which was great. I loved hearing that. We do this so we can spread the word of diving and just anything you guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
But mostly we like talking about diving because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And it was great to hear that, he actually caught an episode of us. I love that. Thank you. But please, guys, hit us up.
Yeah.
We
interact.
We got the chat room going.
We do. We're watching it right here. It's right in front of us.
That's right.
Kind of rearrange things just so we can have that right there.
Shoot us a message.
That's right.
Just don't shoot us with bullets.
That's right. No. So you'll be here next week then, right?
I will be here next week.
So will I. So until next time, we will see you on another episode of Two Guys Who Dive.